Hey there, and welcome to my channel. I am your host, Dancing Johari, and well, welcome to the Charm series. Prue needs some sisters, don't you think? She is part of the Charmed ones, and well, that means we need to make her some sisters. And now the first one I'm going to do. Let's make Piper! We've got a lot to do. To the workstation! Now, I know I haven't mentioned this before, but I am the author of one but two books. That is my nom de plume, Dawn Wilton. They're both up and available on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And well, on my Patreon page, I'm putting up a little video of how I made the Book of Shadows. On to the project. So, as I said, we're going to do Piper. And well, one of the things I noticed when looking up pictures of her is that they hardly ever, usually had her in tank tops or short sleeves, hardly ever in long sleeves. We're going to do a semi-modern take on that last picture. So welcome to my project box. And today's patient is Abby Abominable. I chose Abby because her face symmetry is very similar to Piper's in the Monster High world, and I think she'll make a great Piper. So first, let's start with the prep. Off with the hair. Yay, there we go. Nice sharp scissors took care of that fairly quick. And using boiling water, off with her head. Okay, and then after that, I use some pliers to rip out all the hair. Well, the plugs. Once the plugs are gone, it's time to take off her face with pure acetone. One of the reasons I chose Piper for this project is she is my absolute favorite Halloween. That, and she's technically the middle sister. Okay, next I painted the scalp with a P3 chocolate brown or umber brown. It'll match the hair and it'll help to make it look fuller if I miss a couple places, which sometimes happens. Even as much as you plug, sometimes you get some spots that look a little bare. Once that's dried, I covered it up with a coat of Galaxy glue. That'll help keep it from chipping off. Once that's all nice and dried and sat for a while, about 24 hours, I went ahead and began plugging. Wow, there's a lot of hair. I love it though. And well, now it's time to put more Galaxy glue inside the head and swish it around to coat all the plugs with a brush. There we go. Now we're going to set her aside to dry for a while. I set her aside for about a day. Once the glue is all dry, I put the head back on. Reason being, we're going to be changing her skin color, and that means that we got to mask everything off, but it'll be harder to hide any chipping around the neck area. So since I'm planning on airbrushing this, let's get started now. Now that her hair is up in the hair burrito. I don't know what's going on with my airbrush lately, but it's giving me trouble. Look at those spots. No. Alright. If you don't have an airbrush, this is the other option. I use a makeup sponge and thin modeling paint in the color that I want. In this case, it's in a basic flesh tone from Vallejo. And I just use that to dab it all on and let it sit for overnight. Then I hit it with 2 coats of Mr. Super Clear. Next day, it's time for blushing. And of course, face up. Blushing first. I'll bring out all those little details and help bring some life to the living plastic. Anyway, so yeah, Piper has always been my absolute favorite Hallowell sister. I loved Prue, but I also really love Piper because I think I just relate to her a little bit better. Which is ironic because I'm an older sister. It's just me and my younger sister. We don't have anybody in between us or after us, so it's kind of odd that I would kind of bond more to Piper, I guess, so to speak, or relate more to Piper. Once the body's blushed, of course, I start with blushing the face, and then did some contouring too. Now we're going to add a little bit of eyeshadow using some teeny tiny little brushes. These do really work great for really tiny areas if you want a lot of good control and not want to have to erase a lot. I'm trying to go for a semi-natural look with her because they went for very natural looks back then. Anyway, I'm also going to put on her lip color. I'm trying to go for a really natural looking kind of pink because she tended to wear a lot of light colored lipsticks. Then using a tan brush, I drew in the waterline, or not brush, pencil, sorry. And I drew in the eyeliner lines just to kind of start. Did a little contouring along the nose, drew in the waterline a little bit better with some pink. And then I finally began drawing in the eyeliner and the eye shapes with bolder colors. I decided not to go fully with the sculpt lines, but I was trying to make them shaped like Piper's, or like the actresses rather, Holly Marie Combs. Now she has brown eyes, so I started with this pencil, but I don't know. This looks red to me. I mean, it kind of looks brown, but it kind of didn't. I don't think it's the right shade of brown. Let's try again. There we go. That's much better. That looks more brown, and it looks like the right shade of brown. Went ahead and whitened up the whites of the eyes. Oh, and keep a kneaded eraser handy for mistakes. I drew in the eyebrows, trying to match the actresses as best I could. And then I decided to go with a pink for the lipstick, just to kind of bring out those lips a little bit more. By the way, this is after my next round of Mr. Super Clear. This was like the third or fourth round, I think. Refine the eyebrow shapes. There's just something so much fun about a face-up. I think it's because you just see the changes slowly come in. I mean, you go from a blank canvas after you've wiped off all the factory paint, and the face that comes out is what you put in there. I mean, I used references, of course. I had a DVD of the Charm series with the actresses' pictures on it facing me while I was doing this, so I was like looking at it a lot, going back and forth, peeking around my little photo box. But something just so much fun about this process. It goes from looking like one kind of character and becomes something completely different by the end. I think that's why I love doing this. Now, I did notice at one point as I was trying to draw on the pupil, the paint started to try to come off. So I switched to gouache and fixed and highlighted some areas. And then I tried drawing in the details of the eyes again, just to give it a little bit of difference. And of course, the pupil, especially the one on the her right pupil. It looks like it's on our left, but it's actually her right. There we go. That looks much better. Yay! I didn't want to have to redo everything in gouache. I didn't want to lose what details I had put in already, so I'm just using gouache to accent what I've already done rather than redoing everything. I also went ahead and lifted some color off of a gray watercolor pencil to add a little bit of depth for the eyes. And then of course I used the gouache to darken up the eyeliner and the eyelashes. And then I highlighted some of those lashes. I just did the bottom lashes. The top lashes I want to do as 3D lashes. Highlighted under the eyebrows a little bit more. And I wanted to give her a little bit of a shy, not really a shy, but a little bit more of a toothy smile. It just looked better that way, at least to me, at first. Well, at first. But, I don't know. It looks right. Doesn't quite look right because she didn't really smile like that a whole lot. Went ahead and added in the catch lights. Finished highlighting the areas that I wanted to highlight. Refine around the lipstick. And then I went ahead, after that was all dried and had a couple of coats of Mr. Super Clear, I went ahead and took some glue and added some mica powder to her eyeshadow, because her eyeshadow wasn't quite dramatic enough. It was very dramatic. It looked really good, but I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more oomph, I guess, to it. And this helped. I used bronze, gold, and something darker that I forget what the name of it was. It was kind of a really dark purple for the corners. And then because I was thinking that the lipstick looked too dark, I tried lightening it up, but I don't know. Now I can't see the teeth. Oops. Let's make it darker again. And forget the teeth. We'll, there we go. I like that. I like that a lot. I added a little bit also into the irises of the eyes. Just a little bit here and there. I was trying not to cover up too many details. Then using some black acrylic and white paints, I put the creases back in and fixed the line of her eyeliner. I don't know, maybe I should have done this part with the lines, but I wanted to, and I refined it quite a bit with the highlights. Made the really too thick dark lines I had put in fade down to very little. It seems to work. I really do like how she came out. Afterwards, I hit her lips and her irises with a coat of Liquitex gloss varnish. Once she was completely dry, I released her from the hair burrito, and, well, this happens to me just about every time I change a skin color. So let's add some baby hairs. This is what I did for Prue too. Kind of helped marry the hairline to this new skin tone. I used a dark brown, and then I also highlighted it with a little bit of bronze, just to give it a little bit of color difference. Finally, once everything is dry, I went ahead and gave her a boil wash. Combed out her hair. Wow, it's a little too long. So I went ahead and gave her a trim. I gave her pretty much the same kind of trim I gave Prue. I probably should have done it slightly different. But as I said, I wanted to do a slightly more modern take on her hair. I think I was trying to go for a bit of a wolf cut. There we go. I like that. It's very cool. Using Delightful Sweaters and Leggings pattern, I made a pair of leggings for Piper. And then I made her a blouse using my own pattern from the dress that I made for Prue. And I liked this combination so much that I tried it again, did a couple things a little bit different, and made the same outfit for Prue. Keeping the belt that I had used for her first outfit. The first outfit, I just didn't feel Prue-ish enough. Prue mostly wore pants. Taking these skull shoes I had bought from Lady Dynamite Creates on Etsy, I went ahead and gave them a good sanding. And then using a combination of acrylic and UV nail lacquer, gel nail lacquer, I went ahead and painted. Started with the heels, then I used acrylic on the skull. First to bring out black to bring out the shadows. Then once that was dry, I dry brushed it with metallic red. I could have made it bone to make it look like they were actually made of skulls, but I've done that in the past on my mini-me shoes. And while I love it, I decided really wanted to do something a little bit different with Piper. So I went with red, just to kind of bring out a little bit more of a color to her colorless palette otherwise. Poor thing, there's a lot of browns on her. Let's bring out some red. Just kind of my way of saying this girl is a badass. Don't mess with her. I painted the soles red, of course, to match the skulls. And then using some nail polish, UV nail polish, I added some studs that are meant for nails to the shoes. Then I used Uhu glue to add a little elastic loop to make sure that they don't come sliding off. These shoes can be a little on the loose side, so that's why I did that. Just makes them a little bit more secure. Next, I added the 3D lashes. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. I let her aside to dry. Then once she was fully dry, I trimmed her lashes a little bit. Wow. Yes, very much Piper vibes. Now, Piper was a chef, so let's have her brewing some potions in her little video. Introducing Piper. Well, hey guys, thank you for having me over. And thank you all for watching Piper's creation. I hope you really enjoyed watching how she came to life. Please don't forget to check out my Patreon and also check out my book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. What will you create today? Thanks for watching. Bye.